Hey, shalom, shalom, and knocking out Wahai Bar Shallah Walakim La Adam, call Shabuai Baharacha, Wakak Shaw, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Ma'amath, which is truly hey with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, the priest to so called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners, Nacham, Adam, Kaya, Hamalak, Wath Hashemayim, Korah, repent ye for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layim La, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, Wa Mashanah. Kabadim Zukoim Nawa Wa Malakim Shaw Yashla Zukoim Racha got a wall Wa Chasa Wa Shalom Wa Barakim Laha Bacharim Shaw Ha Kawiyash Al Shalom. All right, so all praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means he exists by Hashem in the name Yahweh Shai delivers double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of great millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. All right. I don't want to Zabanayapa. Lord's will. This is a beautiful edification through the Spirit. All right. And I just want to go into a couple points in Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 19, and also chapter 47. All right. I don't want to this is edifying. All right. So this is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, and ultimately that's going into, infighting. All right, everybody in America, Babylon Great is not on the same accord. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, can two walk together except they be agreed? All right, and that walk, all right, that communication, that conversation, it all has to be on one accord. All right, and more specifically, that one accord has to be in righteousness, for that particular kingdom to be to stand. All right. Which, when you talk about America, Babylon the Great, all right, everybody's on a completely different accord. You got people marrying trees, people marrying animals, men with men, women with women. All right, women with, groups of men, or what have you, et cetera, so no one's on the same accord. All right, and that accord is supposed to be in righteousness. All right, and that's not what we see here in this society. All right, now going back to Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 19, we'll get verse 3. Or I'm going to run back verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. I'm going into, infighting. All right, and it says, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. All right, so the spirit of Egypt is failing in the midst. All right, so ultimately, that so-called American dream, people want to join the, the military ranks, get you a dog, get you a car, get you a house, get you a wife, that is failing. All right, that American dream, it says, I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. All right, and that's essentially what, everyone is doing, you see, but these idols is not offering, any advice, because the scriptures call them, pretty much they're worthless, they're good for nothing. Because when you go into this word idol, I believe it goes into exactly that. All right, and it reads, it says, Allah y'all, all right, which it says good for nothing. All right, false gods worthless is vanity, It's just made to sit on the wall, and if you want to call it looking good, But nevertheless, continuing on, it says, into the charmers, all right, which charming, that goes into a form of witchcraft. All right, which essentially goes into where they're using spells and, et cetera, et cetera. And then it says familiar spirits, which is where it goes into awab. All right, and that's essentially some form of necromancy, as it says right here, where they're communing with different spirits, where they say that they're communicating with the dead, but it goes back to, spirits. All right. And then it says into the wizards. All right, well that word goes into Yadainayam, or that's the plural Rabium, which means many. It will be Yadainaya. All right, which when you go into this, all right, this word is compounded of it has a ya, a da, a I, a na, and a ya. All right, which Salah, which that goes into some type of knowledge. All right. And when you have you got the da, which in Hebrew da represents dalath, the word for da, baha alat bayath in the alphabet. All right, da is representative of a door. All right, and then you got the I, which the I, that's where you get the English word I from, because it comes from the Hebrew character or letter I. All right, so when you have the da and the I together, it's the door of the I. All right, so that's essentially where they get their name from, which it goes into when you have the da and the I together. All right, that'll go into the door of the eye, which the door of the eye, what do you do with the door? You open the door. So it's the opening of the eye. That's why it says right here, when you got the eye, your eye experiences stuff. You see, so the opening of the eye goes into Strong's definitions right here. It says properly a knowing one. That's why they call it a knowing one. And when you actually break the word wizard down, it goes into a wise one. You see, but we understand what the scriptures say about that. All right, which we'll get, Lord's will. But I'm gonna go into this. It says properly knowing wise. It says hence a prophet, which that would be a left hand prophet. It says a wizard. All right. So essentially, that goes into somebody that has a certain amount of left hand knowledge. All right. So let me get a precept real fast. This is Bon Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 22, because essentially what what Esau Edom does, all right, what he's doing, all right, he's communicating with left hand side spirits, all right, and essentially they're coming back and telling them different things, in his attempts to prolong his kingdom. You see, but we understand what we understand the outcome of all of this, all right, because essentially what we see is, even though they trust in these things, everybody got to answer the prophecy. You see. So his limits, to, his knowledge on the left hand side, that's why none of his stuff is working. All right, so let's get this real fast. This is Bon Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 22. It says, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time. So the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. Hey, so at any time, none of this is considered actually wisdom. All right, it's just Esau playing his role in the movie. This is a script, and he's filling out his role as the devil. All right, I got another one. Because going into that, they said it was called Someone That Knows. All right, this is Ayawab, Job, chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, and the number of his months are with thee. Hey, so his days have already been determined. All right, they have already been counted. All right, so he can't prolong his kingdom. You see, that's why when he looked into that Project Looking Glass, which that Project Looking Glass goes into some other left hand stuff, but essentially they got the same answer. And the reason being is because everybody has to answer the prophecy. All right. So let me read this again. This is Ayuab, Job 14 and 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Hey, so it's bounds on everything. He has not searched out the whole earth. He has not searched out the whole heavens. He can't even get into the heavens. All right. He has not searched out he has not searched out space. He has not been to the moon and stuff like that, But he has bounds that he can't pass, even with the so-called left hand knowledge that they have on the left hand side. That's why they call themselves the illuminated ones, the Illuminati. You see, because they have a certain level of understanding on the left hand side. You see, but that's not going to deliver them. All right, which we'll see through the precepts, because he has bounds that he can't pass. All right, so let's go back. All right. Back to Isaiah, Yeshaya chapter 19. I was going to go to Isaiah 47. This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, or daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, because essentially this place is being exposed. All right, like the next verse is going to go into, because going back into this, it says, sit in the dust, there is no throne. All right, it's no throne because the Lord is taking away that power from Esau Edom. So it says, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the thigh, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yet thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Hey, so Esau's wickedness is being exposed. All right, that's why the Lord says he's gonna make him a gazing stock. All right, he's gonna expose him. Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. All right, essentially Esau can't hide himself. All right, that's why they got to come out with things like critical race theory, because again, they can no longer confide in those lies that they once was able to confide in. All right. So it says, as for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Yashar'Allah. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance. I have given them into thine hand, because all the tribes, essentially was enslaved in America, Babylon the Great. It says, and thou didst shew them no mercy. Upon the ancient thou hast heavily laid thy yoke. Hey, so they didn't show any mercy, and continually still show no mercy to the ancient, all right, the elderly. That you still got jigs working until they're about in their 70s, man. Esau shows no mercy. All right. So continuing on, it says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Hey, so going back to Isaiah chapter 19, all right, verse 3, and then also the verse that we're getting here, they didn't consider the latter end of all the things that they done, what they did to the tribes. And then also Esau took the scriptures unto himself, you see. And what does the scripture say about, using that left hand knowledge? Let's get that. This is Shamwath, Exodus chapter 22, and let's get verse 18. So it says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. All right. So essentially, Esau Edom gonna have to, die to death. All right. All right. After his 1,000 years of slavery, you see, he gonna have to be destroyed. All right. And he's gonna be punished. He's gonna be punished, according to the atrocities that he's worked throughout the earth. Throwing the earth out of course. Putting a woman over the man. Destroying the ecosystem, messing with the animals, the skies. Esau has done a number on this earth. And far beyond what we can see at this moment. You see, but the Lord's gonna open up our eyes. All right. In the kingdom. But this is back to Isaiah chapter 47, and we'll start at verse 8. It says, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I should not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. This is the spirit of most so-called Americans. All right, they're careless. They dwell carelessly. All right, because they're under a spell. You see, Esau Edom has the masses under incantations. All right, they're enchanted. All right. So it says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Because that's what they're abiding in right now, Esau Edom. So it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. And that's why they call it when you look up like the like where it says sorceries, enchantments, they call them, they refer to those as like hidden arts. You see, they feel as if they're not being seen by the Lord. So it says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Because they essentially feel as if they are the Most High. That they I'm gonna get that. It's Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 14. It says, I'm going to start from verse 13. It says, for thou saidest in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, going into, the tribes. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So this devil feels as if he is the Most High. You see, that's why you see him pretty much putting forth unrighteous decrees. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, you see. So he's essentially usurping his authority over the masses. All right. I'm going to get that too. This is Job chapter 21 and verse 15. It says, verse 16, it says, lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. All right. And essentially this is what we see playing out, the counsel of the wicked being pushed forth throughout the earth. Because when we go to scriptures like this, the Hoyam Psalm chapter 73 and verse 9, they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. And we see this through their laws and legislations. Everything that they push onto the people, all right, is against what the scriptures say. All right. So going back, let's go to Isaiah, Yeshaya chapter 47 and verse 10. It says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall come upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know." It says, Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. Now let's get this word for stand. All right, so it says, I mod, to stand, remain, endure, take one stand. All right, it says stand still, moving or doing, cease. All right, upright, to arise. All right, let me keep it going. Right here, it says continue. So continue to do the things that you're doing. All right, and I'm gonna keep reading. It says, if so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. You see, it says, thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels. So I'm gonna get a precept real fast. This is Isaiah chapter 41. We'll start at verse 20. Verse 21. It says, produce your cause, saith the Lord. Bring forth your strong reasons. Actually, no, I get that after I read this again. This is Isaiah 47. And back to verse 12, it says, stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. You see, that's it's not a rhetorical question, but it's like if this is a rhetorical statement, you see, because it's not going to be able to Esau, Edom doing all this is not going to be able to deliver them. All right. And we know that through the precepts. Verse 13, thou art weary in the multitude of thy sorceries, or thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. It says, behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before it. All right, now let's go into these. All right, so this goes, it says habar, and it says to divide, because essentially what, those that are into astrology, what they do is they'll take the stars and they'll pretty much try to gain predictions or left-hand predictions on what's going to take place on the earth. All right, that's why when you go into this, it says horoscopist, all right, because they essentially use horoscopes. All right, and horo goes into when you look at the word hour, that's where you get hour from, because hour goes into time. So horo means time. All right, scope, when somebody say, oh, I got the scope on you, like they looking at you. So scope, it goes into observe. So a time observer, they're pretty much observing the times. All right. That's why it says to cut, divide out, because they use like some type of circular diagram to where they measuring out the skies to predict events that's going to take place on the earth. You see, and which is truth to it, but how it is, Esau has tainted it. All right, and also what we'll see is like throughout different cultures, they will use it different ways. You see, so we actually had a way of doing it, you see, but we'll get knowledge of that in the kingdom, Bahamalakwat, which is in the kingdom, you see. So then it says stargazers, which that essentially contains both astronomers and astrologists. All right, which the astro in both astronomy and astrology. All right, that comes from Asathar, which means a star. So they essentially study celestial bodies and try to predict things. But nevertheless, I wanted to get this word for prognosticators as well, which that comes from the word yadai, All right, which the D and the I, or the dot and the I in that, those going to somebody that has their eye open to the left hand knowledge. You see, so this represents, Esau, Edom, communing with those, and it says monthly prognosticators. All right, so these, Esau and his councils, the different meetings that he has, to where he's actually trying to, saying like, okay, for instance, they'll be like, okay, what should we do now? Here, pretty much like a round table, if you will, where Esau is communing with these left-handed deities. You see. But I'm going to read it back. It says, "Thou art weary from the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from the things that shall come upon thee." It says, "Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before it." All right, and those that essentially get into that, the astrology and stuff like that, they use the positioning of the stars, you see. But what Esau has done is, I'm gonna get that real fast. This is, that's not the one I wanted. This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25. It says, "He shall speak great words against the Most High." All right, which we got the Hoyam, Psalm 73. All right, speaking against the heavens, their tongue walketh through the earth. All right, essentially talking and setting forth them legislations adverse to the scriptures. This is what Esau does. It says, "He shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times in the dividing of time." You see, so Esau, we understand that he goes off like the Gregorian calendar, the solar calendar, so he ultimately, that's why it's tainted, because Esau, going back to the different cultures, Esau has changed the times and the seasons, because, like, just say, for example, like, say they'll say, okay, this constellation will be over here in this particular season. You see, but what Esau has done, he'll say, okay, well, now it's over here. All right, and this represents this season. That's how we see, we understand that the new year is around the time of the Pesach, you see, but Esau has the new year in January, and that's because he has changed the times and the seasons, and he subscribes with those different individuals and mentioned in verse 13, you see. But got a precept. This is Daniel, because this is who Esau is communing with. This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse 21. It says, I'm reading verse 19. This is when Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. All right, he wanted to know the meaning of a dream. All right, so he asked for Daniel, to interpret the vision. All right, so start from verse 19. This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse 19. It says, "Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the power of heaven. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of the Most High forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his. He changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding." All right, the Lord does everything, you see. So Esau, again, he uses, celestial bodies and stuff like that to predict, on the left-hand side, you see. But he has bounds that he can't pass. And then also, I wanted to get this word for change. Because it says to change, transform, frustrate. All right, let's think about the word frustrate. All right, it says to alter. Shana says to change, alter, to be changed. All right, let's go in here. It says to transfer, to deform. Okay, so let's keep frustrate in the mind. All right, so it says going back, Salak, to frustrate. All right, so it says he changes the times and the seasons. He removed kings and set up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. It says he removed and set up, because it says We could place that with Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High set up the rulers of the kingdom of men. Roughly paraphrasing, I butchered that, but pretty much the Lord is the one that controls who's in power. All right. And it says, and he changes the times and the seasons. All right. So that word for change is to frustrate, because essentially the Lord is the one that's in control of everything. I want to get this in another version to get a little bit more clarity. It says, he controls the course of events. NLT, he controls the course of world events. He removes kings and sets up other kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the scholars. Hey, so the Lord is the one that controls everything, you see. So that's why going back to Isaiah, Yeshaya chapter 47 and verse 12 or verse 11, and verse 12, it says, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. All right. Let's get down to verse 14. It says, behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm it, nor a fire to sit before it. All right, now I'm going to get another one. This is Jeremiah chapter 51. You see, because this is what Esau is doing. He's going back and he's communicating with these left-hand spirits. This is Jeremiah 51 and verse, hold on. No, not this one. But pretty much going back to the point, Esau is communing with those different spirits, you see. But that word in Daniel chapter 2 in verse 21, it says he changed the times and the seasons, all right, which essentially goes into, that word went into frustrate, all right, to alter, because what Esau is doing, he's pretty much lining up the stars and those that have left hand knowledge. They're using all this knowledge, you see, but they have bounds that they can't pass. And then the scripture right here says in NLT, he controls the course of world events. He removes kings and sets up other kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the scholars. All right, so ultimately the one that's in control is the Lord. That word goes back to Shana, which means to change. The Lord is the one that's showing that monkey, he's the one that's putting the monkey wrench in Esau's plans. All right, and what is that monkey wrench ultimately? Let's get it real fast. We get a couple precepts on it, and I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. But this is Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 41. And let's get verse 21. It says, produce your cause, saith the Lord. Bring forth your strong reason, saith the king of Jacob. Malak Shah Yaiquab, king of Jacob. Let them bring them forth and shew us what shall happen. Let them shew the former things, what they be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us the things for to come. Shew the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods, yet do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed. Behold it together. Behold, ye are of nothing, and your work of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you. All right. So, those that confide in these, this left hand knowledge, these different idols, bring forth your strong reason. What does Buddha have to say? What does the stars have to say? Those that go into the stars, they don't have anything to say. Going back to verse 23 says, shew the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods, yet do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed, and behold it together, you see. And that ultimately that's going into, do anything, you see, because who's ultimately in control is not the creation, it's the creator. All right. That's why going back to Daniel chapter 2 and verse 21, it says he changes the seasons. All right, because the Lord is ultimately the ones that frustrates the plans of these idols, the ones that confide in celestial bodies, the ones that come in with these demons, the ones that the Lord is the one that frustrates these plans. He's the one that changes. He's the one that controls everything. All right, and the monkey wrench that's in the plans is called prophecy. You see, it's prophecy. That's what everybody has to answer to is prophecy. All right. Let's go into that. Let me see. What I want to get. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. And we'll get verse 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I'll put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. It says, Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. I'm running back. It says, verse 4, For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Hey, so the ones that is into all this stuff, they're going to die in their unfaithfulness. All right, because essentially everything was prophesied from the beginning. All right, that's why the scriptures say the Bible has no other mate. This is Isaiah chapter 46, 49. It's a lot. This is Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 10. It says, Declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times of things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. All right. Hey, so I'm going to keep going. It says, Calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executes my counsel from a far country. Yeah, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will also do it. Hearken unto me, yea, stout-hearted, that are far from righteousness. I will bring near my righteousness, it shall not be afar off, and my salvation shall not tarry. I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. Hey, so going to verse 10 and 11, all right, the Lord purposed it, so he's going to do it, and the Lord's counsel is going to stand. All right, so the ones that pretty much confide in, these things that have been tainted, and again, it's some truth to it, but how it's used, all right, that's left hand knowledge, which has been tainted by Esau. The knowledge, on the right hand side that we're able to use, that'd be returned to us in the kingdom, you see. But just the point being that Esau's confiding in these different left hand energies and left hand knowledge, you see. But that stuff has a cap on it, and it's not going to prolong his kingdom because this devil has bounds that he cannot pass. Hey, so I don't want to zaza about your power, Lord's will. That was a beautiful edification through the spirit. Wow, I don't want to zaza Adam Yashuan Tawab. Hey, Lord's will. You have a good day. Call Layam La Yahweh Basham Yah Shabasham Chakodash. Hey, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that told me this truth from Ruel. Much respect to you, bros, out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Hey, how you want to Wah, but it's a good day. Wah Yahweh Mahar Allah Bachayarim. Hey, Godspeed to the elect. Shalom, shalom.